Hello, and welcome to another tutorial. And this time I got a old Minota MC Rokkor-PF 55mm 1.7, and it has been on my shelf very long time. So now I think, okay, I will just make a film out of it. It could be interesting if someone could use it, the information. Well, the lens actually looks very nice. The focus is smooth and good, but and there's full open, yeah. But what if I set it to 16? Oh, nothing happened. Well, there's actually a lot of oil in this lens on the aperture plates, which you actually can see here. So if I open the lens again with the aperture ring, you can see there's really a lot, but it will not go back to 16. So it doesn't matter if I move the aperture ring, nothing will happen. Except for if I move the aperture pin, so it goes slowly, close very slowly, and it's not really to get open again. So how to actually fix that? Well, we need some tools. Of course, the normal small tweezers. We need some very handy dentist tool. Maybe I should zoom out a little. Yeah, it's over here. And like this. This is a small spade and a different angle here. And just the very sharp, pointy dentist tool, which is old. Well, we need a 1.6mm flathead screwdriver, and just to be okay, we need a 1.2mm flathead screwdriver also. So that's it, except for we need some lens spinner. This is old compass, which I have filed and grind, so it can take off lenses or nameplates, and which is also very handy, those rubber cones which you can get on eBay. Yeah, and of course, which is very good, this one, the Isopropylalcohol, 99%. I think 90% will also make it. And we need some cotton buds, which is also very handy. Swaps, cotton swaps, which is very good. And yeah, just a cloth to dry the aperture system when I'm done with that. Well, let's jump into it. So to actually come into the aperture system, we need to take off the front plate and the name plate, the front ring, and also the back lens group, and of course the front lens group too. But I will begin with the back lens group because that's easy to take out. So set the lens to infinity, and then you need a lens spinner or whatever tool you have. It can't sit tight, so just be aware of that. And comes off. Very easy. So to get it more easy, I will just use my rubber tools to unscrew it. It will make it a lot easier. instead of use the lens spinner tool, because then I could scratch the lens surface. So this is how it looks, the back lens group. Nothing wrong with that. And if I set the lens to near end, one can actually see what's happening here. The aperture ring and the mechanism that should move the blades when set to something like 16, but nothing really happened, except if I move the pin with a thin screwdriver, see, then I can actually move it, and then the blades will of course also move. Very stiff. So, and then we need to unscrew the nameplate, which I will do with the other lens spinner I have, which is quite handy, adjustable. And the two pins fit perfect in the nameplate. Have a good grip on it. It can also sit tight. So just loosen it and use your whatever rubber lens spinner. There are many different on eBay or other companies who sell them in sets. So this is the nameplate coming off. Now and then I will take out the front lens group, which also will happen with this, just to loosen the front lens group. So I will adjust it so it fits like there. And then have a good grip on it. And then unscrew it. Oh. And then I use my rubber tools here again, because it's very handy to unscrew the front lens group. And then just let it fall out. Here it is. Now, to set things in proper position, of course I've been into the lens before and make some investigation. So my reference mark is the distance here. So I set a mark here, so the front ring actually sits correct. There are 3 screws, nothing special, and lucky they are magnetic, so it will be actually very easy to take out. So, and the front ring comes off. And remember where it sits. I mean, I put a mark here, which is reference to the distance mark here. So, and just for sure, yes, you can set it on a wrong position. I mean, maybe it doesn't matter, I don't know, but just to be sure it's correct. Now, then we are actually in the lens, the aperture system, we can see here. And again, just to be sure I set things correct, I just put a mark, tiny mark here. And also down here and here, so I know exactly where it sits. There are 4 screws to take out, and I will just do so. It's actually very, some kind of easy at some point to get into the lens or the aperture plates. Just be sure where things set and make your mark before you disassemble it. And there was a lot of oil in this one, so one can actually just pop out the set the aperture ring to 16. That's it. And then you could actually just take out the aperture system. Which looks like something here. So the pin from the aperture ring is here, and it goes into the place here. And the pin here is actually going into here, which will be the pin that goes that is connected into the camera. So something like that. Nothing special. It's nothing special here. So this is actually the aperture system. So when move the actual aperture ring, the plates will, this curved ring here will move the blades, so it will open it up to full open. And when it goes back, it's a bit sticky, so I have to push it back again, so something like that. Now, so we will jump into the plates, and we need to take off this brass ring, and there is a bronze spring, a retaining ring that holds this ring in place. So with a pointy tool, you just take off the this retaining ring. So it's something like that. And then we can take off the remember how it sits. It's only this place here, so it cannot sit on the other side or here. It can only sit in one place, so that's quite handy. So after that, now the next this curved piece of metal, I don't know what the name is also held in place by a lock ring here. So with a flat tool, one can actually push in here and push out the lock ring. Something there. And take out the lock ring. There is a small spacer here, which we also need to take out. Can be a little annoying to get in, take out, because it's very thin, but some patience it goes. Now, then I can actually lift this pin off here and get it free, and then take out the spring here, which sometimes can be a problem. But if I begin with the one side here and lift up the spring and let it go, so the open side of the spring is something like here, I will put that over. Something like there, and just use my finger and take it like there, then it's on again. So it's not really that hard to get off, get on or off. So so now we just missed one point, and that's the inside here. There is a ring. I thought it was only one piece of metal here that hold the blades in place, but there is a ring, shiny, and then the actual aperture plate that hold the blades in place. But there are 3 set screws around here. 1, 2, 3. And again, I make a mark here, so it's in reference with the other mark up here and the screw itself, so you can see there. So I know exactly where this plate has to sit, because if it sits wrong, the aperture is not correct. So let's take it apart. And we actually do not need to take out the set screws, just to unscrew them. Something like there. You can see it's very oily here, a lot of oil. And it comes from the focus system over time, because when the lens get hot, maybe it has been stored in a hot area, hot environment, and so the oil will actually go into the plates, the aperture system. Now let's see if I can use those rubber tools to something, which I hope. Yeah, it can be very handy. Now, then I need my 2 dentist tool, or one of course use whatever they have, but I think dentist tool is very, very handy. So I lift up one ring here and with the other, so I can lift both sides at the same time, and actually hopefully lift out the ring if the screws are actually screwed out enough. So, because just pushing out the where is my mark? Somewhere here. Okay. It was much easier. And now the aperture plate, the plate that holds the aperture blades in place, can lift it out. Just take in the edge of the can lift it out gently, Well, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not easy. There's one screw that is not fully unscrewed. I don't know which. Maybe this one or this one. So give it another go. So, and then it pops out. And wow, a lot of oil here, because this ring is actually moving, so therefore it has to be oil free. So let's see what's happening. No, sorry, it's not that ring that moves, it's the other ring. That's actually, let's see, under here. So now it's time for some drink with some alcohol. And then remember how the blades is facing. And they should actually be quite easy to put back in again. See? And if I take out one blade, it's quite long. Okay, that will be very interesting. The blades are made of steel. It looks like. Yes, it is. It's not plastic. Oh, come on. So. Some blades are made of plastic, but those are for sure wow. A lot of oil. So we just take the whole assembly into the, so there can be a real party here. Have a drink, Just let it stay there for a short time. I will be back in short time. And now the blade has, and the aperture system has take a little rest, as I did. And we will just continue, and then I just put gloves on. Because of course I also have to push out this ring and actually do some cleaning of this one, because it's also very sticky. You can see there's a lot of oil. And of course it has to run dry. There's no need for oil in this aperture system. And to just wipe off some napkins can be very handy. Mm-hmm. And also some cotton buds to clean out the rest of the oil in here. Can also be very handy. So yeah, it will be much better. Oh, then I can just add a dry cotton bud to take off the rest. So it's clean. So it looks pretty good. And now for the other things that will also need some wipes to napkins to take it off. No need to push hard. The isopropylalcohol will disappear very quickly. It evaporates very fast. So, and then we are almost there, as it was new. Yeah. Looks pretty good. And actually I can just put it in again. So which I will do. Can only sit one way. No problem with that. So, and then it's time to the other ring here, which also needs some napkins. Are good for something, but not for the blades, in my opinion. So I will just use a lint cloth. It's simply because they are not lint free. Not at all. But very handy for take out the wipe or out the most of the isopropyl. But not good for the more finer cleaning, wiping away. So it looks like new. Amazing. And of course it's good I have my mark here, so I know exactly where this ring has to sit. And of course I also have a mark here. It's also very handy. Sorry, there. So it's therefore it is so important to remember the small marks. Maybe someone would say, no, it's not important. Nah, okay, there's no service manual for this one. Therefore, the mark is important. And now the aperture plates. Looks pretty good. Oh, the plates are actually made of plastic. So there's still something on the blades. And of course nobody knows how long the oil has been there. And one thing, do not draw too hard in the very small pin. So I think it will work pretty good. And the rest of the oh, do you come here? I think the blades are made of plastic, but actually I'm not quite sure. But if they are made of plastic, no, you can see it's actually made of metal, because this screwdriver is magnetic. So I was right in my first thinking. But it's actually quite stable, those blades, even they are thin. It's really thin. So it has to face like this. There. Thank you. And last two come here. The problem is really not the cleaning of the blades and taking out, but they can sometimes be a little tricky to put back into the aperture system. But I think it will go pretty easy. So we're almost there. And there's still something, but it's not really a problem. So that was it. No more party. So now the the aperture ring was put in, as you can see here, and then it's just to put in the blades. And remember, we begin to take out the blades with the aperture full open, and of course we have to do the same when putting the blades in again. It looks like there is some oil here, but it's just some scratch or whatever. It's nothing. It's not really a problem. So there. So there it is. Now to put the last blade in again, when working with aperture blades like this, the second last blade needs to be, what you say, folded out or something like that, just like here. So, okay, not so much. Okay, do you mind? So, now it sits there, and then the last blade needs to, if we are lucky enough, something like there, and we need some another tool to hold the blades when I push it under the first blade I put in, because then everything will fall in place, so it looks like something here. But the blades has to sit proper, so it will make a circle, and hopefully it should be easy to put in. Something like that, I would guess. Yeah. My mark is here, and my mark is here. So the only thing I need is to put it in again. And well, I can use my tweezer here. And hopefully put it the correct way. Okay, I need a handy tool here. No. I think those two holes are for putting in a tool or something like that when they assemble those lenses, but I think we can also make this to work. Yeah, and then it come in handy. Now the next problem is, as you can see, the holes are not in center. So how to deal with that? Well, if I just can get them into the holes here, I think it will. Yeah, I think. It's not that easy. There it should be, and you see, that is why it sometimes could be a challenge. But I think I will make it. And we are almost there. Yeah. And one blade is over here. So there. And this one goes here. So it looks like we are almost there. So, click, it says, and things are in place. So let's see if it works. Wow. Yeah, it's still alive. So that's good. And then I can add my shiny metal ring here. It has to face like this. So this has to have this angle here. So it looks like that. And it will go to place with the anglet side towards the front lens. So the only thing I need is to put this in, put it in the correct place, which is there, and then tighten the screws. Gently. So that was it, and it's hit the correct place. Of course it will close down because there's no stop here, but that's okay. The Aperture system works as it should. So the only thing I need to do is put this in with a little spring. My tweezer here. Yeah, it's it there. And this ring will go over here. And you see now the blades can actually move. Wow. So the next thing will be this little brass spacer. Sits there, and then the lock ring, and then should stay. Okay, a small screwdriver. So it can be a little tight to put that in. Wow. And this ring has to come on. It looks like there is no oil on this. It can only sit one place. It will say here, So open the blades, and the spring will of course close it again. So it seems to be quite good. And the shiny, this brass, those annoying small hair. So this lock ring has to come on, and it's very thin. Click. And then you need to help it a little so it sits proper and cannot fall off itself. So it's absolutely perfect right now. So let's put it back into the lens, the focus. So I will set it to something like infinity. This has the aperture has to be closed as much as possible. The aperture ring here has to be on 16. And then it should be possible to add, come on, do you focus, to put it back in again. Let's see where we have things. The pin goes something like there, almost. Of course I can move this, and I need to do that because this one I have to move it there so it's in position. And then actually before I need to push this a little, and then it's there. So let's see how it actually works. Stays on 16. Okay, it's not tightened here, so it looks like it is actually working. Perfect. A well done job. So and my mark is here, my mark's up there. Yes, everything is perfect. So the 4 screws that hold the inside is lined. So now it's safe and in position. And the third one. So we are actually there. It was not that hard one. Compared to many other lenses, which can really complicate it in working with the blades. This one is actually quite, I could say, some kind easy, in the easy end of what. So that's good. Now I just need to put in the front lens group. And of course the back lens group. Maybe I should do it in the other way. Doesn't really matter, but just to see. So it's easier to see how things put in before I put the lens in. This one sits there, and the 3 screws goes in here. It's really good with magnetic screwdriver. So, and the last one. Okay. So, and then the lens assembly. Let it catch the thread, which is much easier when having those rubber tools. Click, and here we go. Those rubber tools are simply just so handy for working with lenses. And then I can just tighten this front lens group, the nameplate and the back lens group, and then we are there. So the nameplate, okay, are we there? Well, sometimes it's easier with the lens spinner to get the nameplate on. And sometimes not. But in this case, I think it will work pretty good. Click, it says. And then I can just use my rubber cones here to screw them in and then tighten it gently with the lens spinner. So, and then set the lens to near end and put in the, okay, some hair. Don't know where they come from. So, and then use my other tool to tighten the back lens group, which will be so. Okay, here we are, actually to the end. Hope you enjoy the content of how to work with this lens. And now it's back to life again and can be used on some mirrorless camera or just an old Minolta. So hope you enjoyed. Bye bye.